The day I married the terminally ill tycoon. He slipped an arm around my waist. Wifey, you're not disgusted by me? I put on my most loyal puppy face. Of course not. It was love at first sight. Honey, inside my head, it's fine. This domineering CEO with a death sentence won't last long. Once he kicks the bucket, every penny he owns is mine. But nobody bothered to tell me the dying boss can read minds. I was beating up the side chick on the street when a well-dressed matron took a shine to me. The glamour on her wrist glinted in and out of sight. She flicked her fingers and a swarm of black-suited bodyguards boxed me in. Thinking she was back up, the mistress had called. I was about to let loose a torrent of curses when she said, I like you. Marry my son. 100,000 a month. Every ugly word jammed in my throat. 100 grand isn't exactly mind-blowing. So I hesitated, ready to haggle. She read the pause, parted her lips. 200. Done. Mom-in-law. Sterling beamed, tucked my hand in hers, and led me into the Bentley like it was the most natural thing in the world. Girl, do you honestly like my son? I told the truth. Nope. I'm just a civic-minded citizen, wherever society needs me. Serena answers the call. I hadn't even seen the guy. How could I like him? Sterling said nothing, and I thought she might back out. Maybe we could still negotiate the price. Instead, she pulled a black card from her herm and pressed it into my palm. A little hello present. I adore honest girls. I stared at the black card, grinning like an idiot. Let me introduce myself. Serena. Third-generation farmers. 0 bad habits. 0 diseases. Sterling nodded, still smiling. My son was diagnosed with a terminal illness recently. The doctors say his clock is ticking. I want someone to walk the last stretch with him. He's 27, never married, and his first love looked a lot like you. My guess is he'll be crazy about you, which is why I picked you on sight. So I'm the stand-in, a domineering CEO wanting a substitute, perfectly normal. Stand-in it is. Then, 200 grand pocket money every month. The car slid through a leafy private lane and stopped at a mansion the size of a hotel. Sterling dropped me at the front door and left to go shopping. Get used to the place, she said. I wandered up to the 3rd floor, heard water running, and ambled toward the sound. I knocked. Hello, anybody home? 1 minute. No answer. I turned to leave when a cool, clear male voice rose behind me. Serena, a gorgeous face swam into view, the bangs on his forehead still damp. Good grief. What lottery did I just win? Barely through the door, and I'm greeted by a hunk fresh from the shower. At that moment, I admit it. Serena here is a total sucker for hot guys. Wait, the CEO is a cripple, in a wheelchair. What the hell? Sterling told me her son was dying, not that he couldn't walk. Maybe this isn't her son. Please don't be. Julian, the man said icily. Seriously, he's crippled. He wheeled over to the table, poured a glass of water, and swirled it in front of me. I waved it off. I'm good, not thirsty. He ignored me, rolled past, and emptied the glass into the cat's bowl. Me, speechless. He stared straight into my eyes, mouth curling. Relax. It's temporary. I'm not a cripple. The legs might still recover. How did he know what I was thinking? Whatever, as long as my 200 grand shows up. He arched a brow. Exactly. 200 grand a month, so cling to your towering money tree. Why don't you? He heard that too. I flapped my hands. No, I don't care about the money. I just want to serve the people. Cash is only worldly dust. Worldly dust my foot. Money is everything. He'll be putty in my hands once he hears, serve the people. Julian tilted his head, eavesdropping on my brain again. Oh, pure public service. Huh. I thumped my chest in pledge, while inside I snorted. Did he really take me for some living bodhisattva? We skipped the wedding, just signed the papers. I've always been anti-marriage. After my ex cheated, romance sounds like food poisoning to me. Certificate only. No ceremony, my kind of party. I wanted to blast music and dance right there. Julian could only shake his head at the sight. After he left for the office, I went back to the 3-story villa. The front door stood wide open. Weirdly, no housekeeper in sight. Since marrying Julian, my quality of life has skyrocketed. The clothes on my back now cost more than my old rent. I'd whined about having nothing new to wear, and the next day Julian stuffed an entire wardrobe with designer labels. Outside staff. Get in here. If the guest isn't looked after, aren't you afraid the boss will fire you when he gets back? The shrill voice rang out before I even reached the living room. I straightened my outfit. Hi, may I ask who you are? A woman was sprawled on the sofa, peeling mandarin orange segments with one hand and chugging German with the other. Get over here and rub my legs. I get them pampered 3 times a year and massaged 5. They're sore right now. Move it. What are you waiting for? You really shouldn't eat those two together. I pointed at the orange and the milk. I meant it as a friendly warning. She figured I was stingy, rolled her eyes, but kept eating. So what if I snack? Julian is my blood nephew. Keep nagging and I'll have him fire you. So she really thinks I'm the maid. How could a domineering CEO have a relative this obnoxious? They all look like the refined, intellectual type. Don't imagine a pretty face is enough to hook my nephew. You're the help best you can hope for is being his mistress. Please. I wouldn't take your nephew if you gift-wrapped him. Around here he's nothing but a pretty toy. The instant that thought crossed my mind, Julian barged in. Here comes the dramatic CEO rescue. I thought, then realized he was pushing his own wheelchair. Aunt, this is my wife, Serena. 10 words, nothing more. Julian shot me a knowing grin that said, I'm this hot and you call me a toy. His aunt froze for 2 beats, then sipped her milk without the slightest panic. Wife or not, Julian, don't forget the girl I mentioned. Sophie, her father runs a listed company. Huge help to your career. Go meet her tomorrow. Name's Sophie. The moment I heard Sophie, I almost answered. Sophie is the name Dad gave me. Serena is the one Mom chose. I thought the combo meant their love was forever, yet they still divorced. I lived with Mom, so Serena stuck. And the heiress auntie just bragged about. Also me. All these years Dad slips me cash now and then, grooming me to be his only heir. Now I've gone behind his back and married a guy in a wheelchair. Dad will kill me if he finds out. I put on the perfect wifely smile. Go ahead and meet Sophie. We can't disappoint Auntie's kind intentions. Julian studied me for 2 seconds. Pass. I already have a wife, 0 interest in that Sophie. Then he looked at me with blatant affection. Damn it. For a second I actually swooned. Heart hammering. I chanted Amitba inside my head. Dear Buddha, please don't let me fall for this guy. Julian curled his lip in a smirk. My aunt was still basking in her little victory. Since she clearly thinks I'm trash, I figured I might as well flash some villain fangs. I walked up, snatched the German milk and the mandarin orange right out of her hands. She exploded, jabbing a finger at me. This is how you act as Julian's wife. Stealing from me. I'm going to teach you a lesson. After all those oranges, something should be kicking in about now. 3, 2, 1. My aunt doubled over, clutching her stomach, rolling on the floor, begging me to dial 911. I looked down at her and offered the milk back. Auntie, maybe finish the rest. I did warn you oranges and milk don't mix. Can't blame me now. My grin kept climbing. Inside I was fireworks. Anyone who wants to mess with Serena hasn't shown up yet. Sterling watched the whole scene, pleased as punch. At dinner she'd splurged on Australian lobster and scallops. Serena, I knew I read you right. My sister's been throwing her weight around ever since Julian started expanding the company. Anyway, thank you for today. I slid a chunk of lobster into my mouth. Not as good as Mom's. I swallowed anyway. Tasty? Sterling asked. I nodded like a bobblehead. So good. Better than my mom's. Seriously. Julian caught my eye and smiled. Mom, next time we celebrate, let's go out. Feels more special that way. Sterling beamed. You two are getting along. Give me 2 fat grandbabies and I'll die happy. We'd been married 5 minutes and she was already rushing us. Besides, Julian and I aren't happening. Look at him. How would that even work? I sneaked a peek at him. Naturally, he was staring right back. Crap. Busted. Julian played the dutiful son. Don't worry, I'll work hard so you can be a grandma next year. Me? After dinner Julian rolled to the bedroom and told me to undress him for his bath. Hands shaking. I popped each button. The guy's carved. Pure marble. My throat twitched. Hungry now. Sure, he's stuck in a wheelchair, but the gym obviously isn't a stranger. Eyes off the merchandise and finish the buttons. I dragged my gaze away and switched topics. About that baby talk at dinner, let's get one thing straight. I won't be having your kid. I'm here for the check. I do the job listed. And baby making is overtime, separate invoice. Also, I know I'm just a stand-in. Do I really look that much like her? He stayed silent, but the air around us turned arctic. Did I hit a nerve? Awkward, dead white minefield. I undid the final button. Still no word. Whatever. Moody tycoon, your circus. He bathed inside while I waited outside. Scrolling Instagram. A post popped up. With you I know warmth and cold. Joy we share. 2 families. 1 covenant. Lasting love. Blossoms burn bright. Perfect time. Perfect home. Please grace our wedding in 2 days. Photos attached. My best friend and my ex wrapped around each other. Sunlit smiles. Peach blossom perfect. Yup. Sterling first noticed me while I was slugging that best friend on the street. She'd been sleeping with my boyfriend for 3 years. I'd played the clown the whole time. They flaunted it in our college group chat. Tagged me. Serena, you have to come to the wedding. I'm sorry about the breakup, but I couldn't watch Colton stay miserable with you. Please forgive me. and come celebrate in 2 days, making themselves the victims, like I'd wronged Colton somehow. I locked the screen, and tears slid out, quiet and hot. Not for Colton. For the 3 years I tossed away. Julian wheeled out, hair damp, saw me, baffled. What happened? I looked up, eyes shimmering, trying to speak. But crying is a waterfall. Once it starts, it pours. Offer me sympathy and I'll flood the room. Sure enough, tears rained down. He panicked. Frustrated he couldn't mind read me. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have promised mom babies without asking. If it bugs you, I'll take it back right now. I stayed mute, then noticed his toes twitch. I grabbed his arm before he could roll away. It's not about that. Then what? I let it rip. But my ex cheated with my best friend and they're getting married in 2 days. I hate it. Julian's permanent frown lifted a notch. Oh, want me to handle it? I eyed him. Handle it how? Exactly? He yanked me onto his lap, arms circling my waist, leaning in. How about we rehearse right now? What kind of drama is this? I wanted to say yes, but I manned up. I hopped off, cheeks burning. Deal. Come with me the day after tomorrow. I knew rich folks splurge. I just didn't know Julian was made of money. He stuffed $300,000 into a cash wedding gift for Colton. 300 grand gone. That could have been mine. It filled 3 giant suitcases. He also brought a dozen bodyguards. Entourage level. Blockbuster. I pushed his wheelchair. Julian, isn't this a bit much? This. Pocket change. The venue was on the beach, spitting distance from our villa. I overheard Julian on the phone. 3 grand to rent the beach for a day? Give me 10% of the take. Make it 100 grand per day. Wait, he owns the beach. Inside the archway, Colton and Chloe greeted guests. My fists clenched, wanted to deck him. Serena, bringing a cripple to save on the buffet. 1 plate, 2 mouths, clever. Colton sneered, still the same jerk. Colton, Chloe, you giving up on kids. You're marrying a guy who's 3-legged, none of them working. This man is my husband. Even in a wheelchair he's twice the man you are. At least he functions. Can you? Colton turned purple, wordless. A waiter in black appeared. Sir, please settle the remaining $97,000 venue fee. Colton snapped. Screw off. Contract said 3 grand. Now it's 100K. Your boss changed prices on a whim? The waiter bowed toward Julian. Boss. I asked repeatedly. He refuses to pay. Be boss. Julian owns the beach. Colton stammered. You're the owner? Julian lifted his chin. Consider the 300 grand my wedding gift. Count it if you like. I whispered. Julian, you savage. Public slapdown accomplished. He's wondering how you landed a gold mine like me. Julian murmured back. I patted his head. Nah. Colton's brain doesn't stretch that far. Believe me, or take a wild guess right now. I shook my head. The next second Colton was jabbing a finger at me, shouting, screw you. Think landing this golden goose makes you queen. You're paid help. Nothing more. You're here for his cash. Don't forget I've still got your dirty little secret. He knew me too well. Fine, I was here for the money. So what? I've got money he actually wants. Do you? He didn't. Years of work. No car. No house. Yet he'd secretly kept another woman on my dime. Every payday I'd hand over my salary, and he'd spend it on her, my best friend. No less. In the end, I crashed his picture-perfect wedding, and we never went home. We hit a bar instead. On the way, something nagged at me. How could Julian read people so accurately? Know exactly what they were thinking. He and I sat in the back while the driver chauffeured us. I leaned in slowly and whispered, Julian, do you have mind reading? I've read tons of novels about it. Don't tell me you've got it too. Julian frowned. Mind reading? Yeah. Mind reading. Otherwise, how do you know what's in people's heads? Forget it. You probably don't. You must have dug into their backgrounds. You don't actually have superpowers, right? Just as Julian started to answer, the driver cut in, boss. We're here. I wheeled him out and straight into a private room packed with testosterone-dripping guys. I was practically drooling when Julian pressed his lips together. Stop staring. Okay, sis-in-law's here. Quick, quick, quick. Welcome, welcome. Big sis. Holy crap. They laid it on thick. I waved modestly, hey, guys. Hey, I was thrilled. Julian looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. Dude, you get hitched and don't tell your brothers. Lame. Yeah. We wanted to give you pointers. Ha! 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 Since marrying him I hadn't seen a single friend. Turns out hot guys hang with hot guys. One of them slid over and teased, sis, does the old man know his way around? Want us to coach him? Must be a close buddy to joke like that. Jason, begging for death. No lessons needed, I've got skills. I jumped in to smooth things over. He's actually pretty good. Definitely knows what he's doing. Instant silence. Did I just say something wrong? Julian flashed a smug grin, eyes boring into mine like he could see straight through me. You didn't say anything wrong. You spoke the truth. The room exploded. How's that for wild? For spice. When Julian hit the restroom, he left his jacket. I went to deliver it and caught his chat with the guys, loud enough for me to hear. Bro, sis looks a lot like your first love. She wasn't my first love. I never got her. Just liked her. But sis treats you great. Tons of chicks would kill to be you. Say you don't feel anything. I don't buy it. Translation, I don't buy that you're using her as a stand-in. I never handed over the jacket. A wicked idea popped into my head. You wanna make me a? Fine, I'll make you fall for me. And when you're head over heels, I'll kick you to the curb. That night I slipped into the lingerie Chloe had sent, scarcely more than strategic cutouts. I hid behind the curtain. Showtime. I glided up to him, propped a hand on the desk. Honey, it's late. Let's hit the sack. I tugged his tie and leaned in. I still have work. Later. Okay, be good. Go watch TV in the living room. He said it like it was nothing. Damn it. Why isn't he taking the bait? You, before I could finish. Laughter burst from his laptop. Yes, actual human laughter. He was in a Zoom meeting. Maybe we pick this up tomorrow, which means my little seduction just aired live to the entire board. Why didn't Julian warn me? Mortified, I clapped my hands over my flaming face and bolted. Peak social death. I chugged 10 glasses of water. Still couldn't flush the embarrassment. Julian emerged half an hour later. Why so shy? I hid my face. Why didn't you tell me you were in a meeting? I just died of embarrassment. I told you I was working, but you kept insisting I come to bed. He leaned back, shoulders shaking with laughter. Stop laughing. I clamped a hand over his mouth, lost balance and toppled onto his lap. Ouch. Ouch. I thought his legs were permanently shot, but I didn't dwell on it. We were millimeters apart, sparks ready to fly. His eyes went hazy. He drew my hand to his waist, leaning in, almost there. He knew exactly what I wanted. A breath away from my lips. Don't you dare step inside. This is my house. Sterling blocked the doorway. The voice was pure arrogance. This is my house. My dad left me this place. My brother's been dead 10 years and you're still squatting, shameless. And this girl you married, seriously? They barged in. I felt like a teen caught making out. The leader marched up and slapped me. Bitch. Always throwing yourself at men. I froze. Who the hell? I slapped her right back. Lady, who are you? Barging in is rude. FYI, I'm his wife. She gaped, panting. You hit me, Sterling. This is how you raise your daughter-in-law? Sterling swallowed, secretly giving me a thumbs up. The woman raised her hand again. I caught it. Try that once more and I'm calling the cops. She sneered. Hear me, girl, I'm the rightful owner. This villa's under my name, yet they've squatted for years. And you, drooling over a cripple? Cripple beats you. You say it's yours. Deed, please. She stalled, speechless, then stormed out with a, you'll regret this. Probably decided I'm trouble. Sterling slipped out and politely shut the door. After that spectacle I'd lost the mood. Not in the mood anymore? Wait. He can read me again? Does it hurt? I shook my head. Nope. She'll be sporting a fat cheek tomorrow, though. Julian stroked my hair. No need. Really. She'd never dare actually hit you. Just for show. She's my aunt. My grandpa's only daughter. But he was disappointed in her. When I was 10, Dad died. Mom lost her support. Then Grandpa passed. We had nowhere to go. She tried to kick us out. Grab everything. This leg. He tapped his wheelchair. Got wrecked saving her son. After that she backed off. So you just let her bully you? Grandpa didn't like her, but she's his daughter. He made me promise to protect her. Tears plopped onto my sleeves. I hugged him. He buried his face in my neck. I'll protect you, even if I'm just your stand-in. He paused, but I didn't find it strange. What did feel odd, though, was that from beginning to end he'd never once said I was a stand-in for his first love. Probably he just didn't want to reopen old wounds. I've never treated you like a replacement, he said, sounding hurt. Never. He said it again. I blanked for a second, and before I knew it his mouth was on mine. Cool. Soft lips tasted of wanting something he thought he couldn't have. The kiss turned my brain to mush and almost cost me my last shred of sanity. But he didn't push any further. Is he? Broken downstairs. Next day I was curled up in bed when the crash of breaking glass came from downstairs. What the hell? People are sleeping. I shuffled into my slippers, stomped down, and saw the woman from yesterday leading a crew in a smashing spree. I sprinted over and snatched the vase she was about to hurl. Oh, you're up. You psycho. Who do you think you're throwing a tantrum at? If you need meds, check into a clinic. Don't nauseate me in my own house. She looked totally unfazed. The picture of I can trash my own place if I want. You really think you can do whatever Forever. The only reason Julian puts up with you is your dad begged him to look after you before he died. Otherwise, she froze, set the vase down, and asked, seriously? I nodded hard. Swear, why would I lie? When Julian barreled in, frantic, certain I'd been bullied, the reality was I'd moved her to tears. His normally ferocious aunt was sobbing on my sofa, pouring her heart out to me. I patted her back, at a loss. Don't worry, your dad's watching over you from above. Julian walked in, took one look, and his jaw dropped. His fire-breathing aunt, crying. He pulled me aside. She didn't hurt you? Nope. Then why is she bawling? You slap her? No. I melted her with love. Before she left, still sniffing, she clasped Julian's hands. Julian, you picked a treasure. Treat her right. No lies. You hear? Then she glanced at his legs. What was that look supposed to mean? Once she was gone, Julian wore a grin I hadn't seen in ages. Didn't know my wife was this good. Tamed my aunt. Obviously. Do you know who you're dealing with? Julian, can you seriously read minds? You figured it out? Knew it ages ago. I've got the same trick. But you're the first person I can't read. Figured you must be blocking me. Julian chuckled. Funny. I can hear every thought you have. My stomach flipped. He knew every thirsty fantasy and the fact I'd come for his money. Like the old saying, the fish that wants the hook bites on its own. He smirked. He'd seen right through me again. Stop staring. You're stripping me of every last secret. He hugged me and whispered, true. You're an open book to me, but I still keep one secret from you. What is it? Can't tell you yet. Good surprise or nightmare? You'll find out soon. 3 days later Dad called. When he heard I'd married, he cursed me blue, then calmed down and ordered me to bring Julian for inspection. I told Julian. He nodded. Zero nerves. Not scared? Not at all, he said, though I could see sweat beading on his palm. Can't read your head, but your face is screaming panic. He scowled. I ruffled his hair. Okay. Teasing over. Meeting day arrived fast. I could already picture Dad's expression, exactly like the fifth meme in my camera roll. We'd booked a private room in the upscale restaurant Julian owns. I peeked in. Dad sat bolt upright at the head of the table. Dad, I squeaked. You little brat. Married behind my back. Why not just elope to Mars while you're at it? Uncle, Julian said, wheeling himself in. Dad almost jumped for joy. Julian. They knew each other. From Dad's glowing face. He was a fan. Why didn't you tell me your husband is Julian? He hissed, dragging me aside. Before I could answer, he rushed over. My daughter landing you is the luckiest day of our family tree. Had I known, I'd have camped on your lawn the same night. I wanted to cry. Dad, I'm the one with your DNA. After lunch Julian went to get the car while Dad cornered me in the lobby. Sophie, treat that man like gold. Youngest double PhD holder ever. When my startup hit a wall, his advice saved me. Who is this man and what did he do with my authoritarian father? Dad, you're okay with the wheelchair? I tested. His grin vanished. What's wrong with a wheelchair? Brilliant people often come with flaws. Look at your old man. I pressed my lips shut. As we talked, a dark blur shot past. Someone familiar. Julian still hadn't appeared. Maybe something happened. I speed dialed him once, twice. No answer. I bolted to the parking level. It was empty except for balloons and rose petals artfully scattered. Looked like a proposal set. Julian, his wheelchair sat off to the side. Abandoned. Julian, I yelled. Fine. 911 it is. I'm right here. He stepped out. Roses in his arms, standing. My gaze locked on his legs. You can walk. Before I could finish, he swept me up. Sorry, Sophie. I lied. I kept meaning to tell you, but I was terrified you'd bolt. You were never anyone's stand-in. I've loved you since senior year, when you saved a kid in that alley. That boy was me. Memory flooded back. Senior year, 10 p.m. after evening prep. Mom hadn't picked me up, so I took the shortcut. Inside the alley, I heard fists on flesh, school bullies at work. I panicked, pretended to be blind, and fate called. Dad, are you still at the precinct? Come pick me up. I'm on Phoenix. Yeah. 3 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes later they scrammed. The ringleader spitting, you're dead. Girl. I'd been terrified, but days passed and nothing happened. Turned out they were arrested. Julian had been that cornered kid. I could have taken them, but you rescued me. I've loved you forever. I was sure you'd hate a cripple. So I let Mom. When did your legs heal? 3 days after you moved in. Everything felt surreal. We threw a second wedding and honeymooned on wheat. Eventually we had a whole basketball team of kids. Looking back, every twisted turn made perfect sense.